Us not distort facts. It's very disappointing that some of us will be distorting facts just because Professor Humphrey Nwosu is an Igbo man. Was it Justice Professor Humphrey Nwosu that made the military cabal to turn Nigeria into confusion? It is highly unfair, despite the pressure from Babangida government, despite the court order, Mr. President, allow me, despite the court order by Justice Ibeme that stopped the election, despite all the threats from the military cabal, the man still went ahead to conduct the freest and fairest election. Our personal biases, our personal sentiments, and our party affiliations to influence what we are doing here. So far I'm concerned, during the June 12 presidential election, I was a presiding officer. And yes, I just came out from secondary school. I was the presiding officer in that election. That election has been adjudged up to today the freest and fairest election in the history of Nigeria. Mr. President, any Nigerian that googles internet, which election is the freest and fairest election in Nigeria, is the June 12th presidential election. Professor Humphrey Nwosu, a professor of political science from the prestigious University of Nigeria, a civil servant, before he was appointed in 1989, did his best, despite the pressure from Babangida government, despite the court order, Mr. President, allow me, despite the court order by Justice Ibeme that stopped the election, despite all the threats from the military cabal, the man still went ahead to conduct the freest and fairest election. Was it Professor Humphrey Nwosu that made Justice Saleh from Katangum Emirate from Bauchi to annull the election? Was it Justice Professor Humphrey Nwosu that made the military cabal to turn Nigeria into confusion? It is highly unfair. One of my colleagues mentioned about the honor.
How was it remain my brother?
Is it because he belongs to a particular political party? Let us not distort facts. It's very disappointing that some of us should be distorting facts just because Professor Humphrey Nwosu is an Igbo man.
Thank you very much.
Allow this motion to stand.
I think we are using too much emotions and not much of the facts of the case. I call myself a victim of June 12th, precisely because I contested for the Secretary Generalship of the SDP in 1993, and we lost the election to Sule Latido, who was the former governor of Jigawa State. After that, we had a lot of trouble selecting the vice presidential candidate. I was in the Kingibe faction, and we were able to defeat Atiku Abubakar to get Abiola to name Kingibe as vice president in order to have a seamless election. We went through that process, and we knew we won the election. It was annulled. everybody knew what happens or what happens under the military. To accuse this late gentleman of not allowing the election, not announcing the election, I think is very, very historical and charitable. Mr. President, even under duress, he was not even to have conducted the election in the first place, but he went ahead and conducted it against the military who appointed him. After the election results started coming out, and it was aware that Abiola won the election, Nwosu asked his Director of Legal Services, Malam Buhari Bello, who is still alive, he's my junior brother, to go to court. Buhari went to court, and he won in the court in the Federal High Court. The appeal, he went to the Court of Appeal. Like my statesman from Anambra, Senator Ume, said, they were afraid that the Court of Appeal is going to give INEC a favorable response. The military came and annulled that election and disbanded INEC. And at that time, my junior brother Buhari Bello lost his job also, together with Nwosu. Now, how come with this historical narrative? Some of us are alive. We are participants in that process. There are some people here who are talking who have never been part of the process. And then you are coming out painting certain historical narratives which are wrong. Please, let's honor ourselves and uphold what is right and do the right thing. Thank you, Mr. President.
Historical event. One thing we must not allow to come in is sentiment. I'm not from the southeast, I'm not from the southwest, I'm a Nigerian. Humphrey Nwosu was a Nigerian. And at the time he worked, Nigeria was a very complex society, managed by very reckless, very ambitious, very dangerous military leaders. We knew all of them. They shot so many of their mates for no reason. And I'm sure shooting a civilian would be an ordinary event. We knew what happened at that point in time. I am not after getting him named, anything named against his name, or giving him a national honor. That is left for the government of the day. But that history must not be distorted. We have kids here, okay, they are gone, and they are listening, and they take this away. This is one of the highest, the most respected institutions in Nigeria, and so when we want to put facts, we put facts down for others to use. Humphrey Nwosu, to the best of my knowledge and from the functions it performed, is a hero. Now, he established what we are mimicking today, the very INEC we are trying to fine-tune. He laid the foundation.
No, he did NEC. NEC, not INEC. NEC.
They are the same thing. It's a change of name. Change of name. Please, I didn't talk, Professor of War, I listen to you. You listen to me. Now, listen to me.
But you have 1 second. You have.
So sorry, I'll appeal for 2 more seconds because of the disturbance.
No, you have 1 second.
There were elections conducted at that period, not just presidential election. They were successful. Don't forget, he conducted local government elections. They were successful. State elections, House of Assembly, reps, and Senate, they were all successful. Governorship. When it was time for presidential election, we knew the interplay of forces. And
you have 1 second remaining, 1 second.
Well, I want to say that we should be honest and we should be fair to people. Humphrey Nwosu is a hero. Nobody could have done better than he did at the point he performed. May his soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen. Generally, most of all the people that were talking about Nwosu, most of them did not know much. As at that time, they were very young. Some were still in the university. Now they are here. The elder says don't judge the dead. Leave him for his creator. Nwosu was a bloody civilian during Babangida's time. Colonel who were in uniform there. My problem is that when it comes to civilian, we want to applaud our people. We have a lot of problems. Right here, one of the generals, and so many, we have celebrated them, that truncated this democracy. Nwosu has done his best. He has gone. The naming of this and that in his name depends on the executive. You can recommend. If the president wants, he will give him. If the president wants the national honor, you can give him the best. Because at that time,
Thank you, Brother Nwosu.
we don't want all these things to.
Thank you.
to
Now, please,
and
we
waste.
have to, because the deputy leader has come here to advise me.
issue here is not whether we name the quarters of INEC in memory of Nwosu. The critical issue here is the honor that Nigeria owes this great man. And one of those who is, I'm very passionate about June 12th. Very passionate, because I believe that has been one fabric that has challenged our sensibilities as a country. So the central issue here is not naming of the 85. The central issue here is the honor, because if Nwosu is not celebrated, who must be celebrated? Is it Otonzeribe or the judge who gave that judgment? I am of the opinion that outside whatever might be named after him, which of course is outside our past, as it were, we can at best recommend. But the central issue is that this man showed courage when that was necessary. He had all the opportunity.
You have 1 second. Your time is off. So, President, you have the floor. Then Solomon.
So I think we can.
Your time is off. Your time is off.
By naming that edifice after.
Thank you, Mr. Distinguished colleagues. I am indeed very worried that the achievements of Professor Humphrey Nwosu is being subjected to such fierce debate. There's no doubt, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, that Mr. Professor Humphrey Nwosu is an architect of the freedom we enjoy today as a nation. Humphrey Nwosu
He has the floor. Allow him to say his mind.
doubt is
You are
the hero
protected.
of the June 12th election. And there's no doubt that he introduced something that was very novel to us, the option A4, and conducted an election, adjourned the freest election that we
You have 1 second remaining. 1 second.
had. Mr. President, I want to warn or advise that this Senate should not resort to scapegoatism, to say this is the person that caused this is the person that did not do this. Let us look at things objectively.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Solomon. You have the floor.
He played,
Reason why your time is on.
and I want to say he was not just.
How many minutes, sir?
You have the floor.
So at the University of Nigeria. Let me round up, Mr. President.
The time is off.
Because I don't want us to pin Professor Nwosu to just the INEC job he did. He was an erudite professor.
Thank you. Thank you. Your time is off, Senator Solomon.
The Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedure. So even if the Senate leader says that it doesn't follow, by the fact that a senator wants to make a personal explanation, you must give that senator a chance to make that personal explanation. We are not under a dictatorship, Mr. President. That is why I'm using 1B to come.
If you have told us that you are going to bring the motion under 42, we will oblige you.
Mr. President, I don't know what is controversial for immortalizing Humphrey Nwosu and
Moving forward, what's your next line of action? Thank you.
follow up as a June 12 volume. And therefore, all the elements that make up June 12, including the conduct of the election. And like we said, if there was no election, there would have been no June 12. So we can also use this opportunity that we're here addressing you to appeal to the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to honor the man who made sure that that election held. Despite that it was done and put elections in the consciousness of Nigerians, because that election was what led everybody else to now be doing subsequent elections. Thank you. He was a member and he also participated fully in that election. So let him make it. Thank you, sir.
Well, I just want to recall that without Professor Humphrey Nwosu's sagacity and courage, that election would not have taken place. You are all aware that Justice Ibeme said that there shall be no election by 9:30 in the morning on June 10th. Professor Humphrey Nwosu audaciously, without invitation, went to the National Defense and Security Council and insisted and convinced them that the election process had commenced. That was why President Babangida allowed him to conduct the election. And if anybody is saying that he did not announce the result, the person is lying, because the results were being announced. In fact, they have announced 29. It was remained only Taraba State. And even when they ordered him to come to the Aso Rock, I want to tell you, he was even arrested. But he still ordered that Taraba be announced. So at what point will Humphrey Nwosu have announced that result? Is it in Aso Rock when they detain him? We must be serious. But the truth of the matter is that the Senate resolution is advisory. It's not even compelling. So we are urging President Tinubu to do the right thing by immortalizing Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Thank you.